Happy Friday, goddammit. I'm so glad to see y'all. I'm glad this week is over because it was a rather long one. What's going on, K Sloan? I love you too, right? Hey, little Unseelie is here. Live, love, laugh is here. Hey, Wine Hussy, Queen of Bloomberry. Coco Fit, how are you, ma'am? Good to see you. Healing Arts is here. We can ready to have a conversation that is long overdue. Long overdue. Bottom line is this. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all every time y'all click the link, every time y'all get in the chat room. I appreciate y'all like a motherfucker. Now that that's over, right? A lot of times people, mainly mammies, dusty sympathizers, mammy sympathizers, when they get real upset, I'm talking about real angry, they end up saying something like, all y'all getting is bottom shelf brands. Well, here's the fact of the matter. First of all, that's not true. Second of all, I feel like you don't see yourself. I feel like you don't see that your bottom shelf brads are a lot better than your Ty-rones. Let me cancel this real quick. See, because nobody wants to talk about that shit. And we here to talk about it. So let's get this screen shared. And then the bottom shelf brad insult, it should go away. If it doesn't, you're just talking to somebody that wants some smoke. Period. And I can accommodate a smoke night. You know I can. Bottom shelf bread is still better than Ty-rone. First of all, just looking at the stats itself, we don't even have to go through this shit here. We don't have to even go through it because the numbers off top says that bottom shelf bread still is better than Ty-rone. I don't even have to justify anything else. But since we're here, we're going to justify the shit. So I'm really tired of hearing the bottom shelf bread bullshit. Remove this from studio. I appreciate you, Ebony J, for the super chat. Y'all, when you see a nigga or a mammy clapping at bottom shelf bread, let me tell you what most bottom shelf breads that they're referring to. Blue collar workers, people that live in middle class neighborhoods, stuff like construction workers, somebody that goes to work every day and come home. That's a bottom shelf bread to them. All the shit I just named is still better than high value Ty-rone. A bottom shelf bread will pay all the bills. A bottom shelf bread won't whoop your ass. A bottom shelf bread don't compare you to other bitches. But high value Ty-rone, top shelf Ty-rone, you're gonna hear all that shit, all of it, then some, and then hopefully you can duck a little bit because it might come with a right hook. But let's go down here a little bit. Building. Looking at this beautiful house, if you're a betting woman, who do you think built that? Elle, who built this shit?
My bottom shelf Brad, he built that shit from the ground up.
Point blank, period.
Facts.
Your Ty-rones, and this includes the high class Ty-rones, they don't even know how to change a tire. That's a whole fucking house you looking at. And a lot of these houses is something that you aspire to. I see you out there. Oh, that's a beautiful home. One day I'm going to get a home like that. Well, I know in your mammy ass mind, you don't think that motherfucking Ty-rone built it, even if he's top shelf. Top shelf Ty-rone can barely tie his shoes. Top shelf Ty-rone only knows how to go to get that money 3 ways: sports, music, robbing. I said what I said. But here's the kicker. All the homes in Ty-rone's hood were also built by Brad, right? But after about 6 months of it being Ty-rone's hood, it's that right there. You cannot put these ungrateful sons of bitches anywhere, anything nice. Ebony Phoenix.
I'm in the house. Yes, ma'am.
When this was a beautiful home, it was built by bottom shelf Brad, the construction worker, the one that does the plumbing, electricity, all that shit. And then it got handed through a program to Ty-rone and them. And it ends up like this. How the fuck did it get there?
Because you got Ty-rone in them.
I swear.
You got Ty-rone and them in the house. That's why.
Y'all.
That's why. See, Ty-rone and them are gonna bitch and say they don't have any programs for us. They don't have this. They don't care about us. They don't love us. Okay, Ty-rone, you got your house. Ty-rone and them, because you know it's more than one.
Mm-hmm.
You got your house. Ty-rone did not keep up the house. Okay, Ty-rone did not replace the roof. Ty-rone did not take care of the foundation, the lawn. Should I go on?
They literally gave them something already built. Your Ty-rones can't build. We have that established. But even if they're given construction that's already built, they can't even maintain the shit. That's how fucking useless they are. Your insults about bottom shelf Brad, I don't think you're in a position to be calling anybody bottom shelf. I don't. Not when you, bitch, have to congratulate the men in your community for taking care of their own children. That's where
taking
y'all
out
at.
the trash.
Huh. Okay. Shame.
Now you know you need to stop talking about them good black men like that.
There you
Girl.
go. There you go. There you go,
It's some
pseudo
good
mammy.
black
You do
men
it,
out there.
pseudo mammy.
They're ridiculous, these guys. They have no room to speak on anybody about anything when they know that wherever they are, it's trash. They bring down the value of anything or anyone they come in contact with.
That's a fact.
Even look, my cousin married a, what they would call a really bottom shelf Brad. He's the hick out there and the rule and the sticks and all that stuff. But you know what he did that the necker father of her own oldest child did? He married her, took her back to his little place that he already owned, raised her fully black son like his own, and he's always been there for his biracial son. So just the fact that he was able to step up as a man puts him above these fucking Ty-rones.
Did you hear that? That's what it is. It's the audacity for me calling anybody bottom shelf when your men are in a very fucked up situation. Let me show you something. This is when you don't feel good, the hallway to Brad's hospital, right? When you're trying to figure out what's going on with your side, or you've been having some stomach pain or whatever, the hallway's clean. He built it for his community. This your shit. Trying to figure out whether you got gonorrhea or not. This is some shit that experienced white flight. It used to be a hospital, but now it's turned into the free clinic to see if you got Star Crunch coochie. Which an hour?
Child, listen, it's so funny that this is a topic today because let me tell you something. The new property that I'm renting was built from the ground up by the white owner who made a double-story house out of a garage. And he just decided that, he was going to give it to his son, but his son didn't want it because his son made his own property. So that's where I came in. I was like, I'll take it.
I just don't understand. You know those 3M strips, that the ones that you put on the wall that you don't have to put a nail through your wall to keep it pristine, and it comes right off when you pull down? I swear to you, on everybody's grave that I love, it says on the 3M pack, never pull the strip towards you because it will tear the paint off your wall. Want to take a stab at what my brother did last night? Talking about 3M ain't shit. I took this down and it fucked my wall up. Well, did you read the instructions? So I say all that to say this: there will be no building going on with your Ty-rones. Okay. So we covered the building, right? That says provide. I'm already laughing. This is a joke. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what's up with the provisions. Black men's earnings trail others with similar positions and qualification. This is going to go all the way deep, y'all. This means that Brad built it and you're working in it. Whenever you go to somebody else's community, you are not going to be the top earner. This is not racism. This is you nesting in another man's community. That's what that is. You got the same degree, got the same student loans, got all the same shit. But then when you get done and both of y'all are handed that degree, you going to him to say, hey, where we going to work at? You look for a zaddy right after that. But let's keep going. That was the degree workers. These right here are just your run-of-the-mill, day-to-day people that you run into when you go to the gas station. Black men earn less on the dollar than all other races of men. I'm going to let y'all look at that real quick and tell me what you notice, because I'm getting ready to drag the shit out of Ty-rone.
Stats are racist.
Very. Very.
Those are the white man stats. You
The right
can't
man
follow
wrote
those.
Yeah, those are racist. Sorry.
Well, we know it's racist because Jose is earning more and Jose's not even a citizen.
Girl.
Do y'all see white men out here marching, Shouldn't they be marching because they're not making the most? That happens to be Asian men. So how on earth are they able to not be on the top but still run you? I don't see anybody marching. I don't see any white men marching trying to get the wage gap closed in somebody else's shit. Y'all,
You know,
this is embarrassing.
you know what? Imagine being so pathetic that somebody who doesn't even speak your fucking language can come to your country and still do better than you.
Girl, when
I
I
had a
was looking this shit
drywaller.
up, go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
I had a drywaller come and finish some work here on my place, and I I wondered, and I pulled him aside, the foreman aside. He's this Latina guy. I said, "Do you have any black men working here? Do they work? Do they work kind of hard?" And he stared at me.
I'm dead.
He was like, "You want to really know? You want to really know? I mean, I could tell you." Yeah, Jose, I kind of want to know. So he goes into this thing. The few we have, he says they're foremen, but no, they don't work hard. They don't last.
Of course they don't.
The fuck?
Girl, pinky swear. Of course they don't. Of course they don't. And then they want to say, pay me. Okay, y'all, you got to look at what they're asking. If you built a business from the ground up, I'm talking about blood, sweat, and tears, you doing the shit from the ground up, you finally made it. And then Becky comes to your business and say, bitch, pay me just as much as you pay yourself. That's what they're asking.
That ain't gonna work.
I wish a motherfucker would.
Mammy, turn to your Ty-rone and tell him to build you some shit because he got you getting bunions on them high blood pressure swollen ass feet marching for some shit that he's not even entitled to. He didn't build that. You don't sit on your ass, wait for somebody to build some shit, and then go try to sit on their lap talking about where we going, baby. What?
He's too busy holding his dick, DZ. Come on.
I can't.
He's taking care of that shit log. He's got things to do.
Thunder Chicken, welcome back, baby. What's going on with you, and what do you think about this topic here?
Hi. Long time no see.
Of course, welcome back.
So Jesus Alfonso Mendoza, he was contracted to build the house that I'm in, and he even he is better than bottom shelf than most black, pretty much all grapes.
Yeah. Yeah. But check this out, y'all. We was talking about employed folk. Now, you know good and goddamn well most Ty-rones ain't trying to work no goddamn where. This right here is unemployment by percentage by race of male. 17 versus 35%. Y'all need y'all ass beat. Y'all need y'all ass beat. They're just saying who's not in the workforce and not why. A lot of that 17% that you see up under whites is because they own their own shit. They don't work for nobody else. The majority, right? The majority of you work for them, and you got the nerve to be sitting home at 35%. No wonder the DV rate is 3 times as high in your community because you're sitting at home knowing you should be doing something else. Knowing you should be doing something else. Every goddamn stat. Not working this past year, 27 versus 12. Institutionalized. We know what that means. You sitting up there in the county hotel, the one that comes with silver bracelets, complimentary silver bracelets. You're 4 times more likely to grace that stage. Y'all don't tell me about no bottom shelf goddamn Brad. I'll
He didn't
take
do
bottom
nothing.
shelf. I will take him any day over your high earning Kwame type motherfuckers. I'm sorry, because it not only that, it comes with a whole lot of shit. When one of them unicorns do get a job, it comes with a lot of shit, and part of that is you're not gonna be the only one. Because black men that actually earn high, one pussy is not enough. It's gonna be at least 2, possibly 3, 2 and a possible. But we'll get there.
Well, DC, fun fact. In 2016, 1 in 5 black men were unemployed. So, but stats are racist.
You
What's
know
the
what's
stats
funny
now
about
after the
those?
pandemic?
And you know what's funny about those? I bet you that the majority of that 35% is literally just men who are around 18 or 19. And then the rest of them, like, I feel like it would be way higher, but the rest of them are in jail.
Yeah, I could see that.
I have a question to the one who mentioned the stats of 2016. I think do you think it could be like 4 out of 5 black men that are unemployed?
Girl, them niggas don't work. Shit. They work 1 week. If they don't get fired for sexual harassment or being lazy, they usually just quit. Like they just leave and never come back.
Honey,
Or
I
being an
can't.
addict. A
Yeah.
lot of them are addicts.
Yes. When I used to work the ER, they used to have to do random drug screens on them all the time because you'll
Yup.
find them staring into space, having slow reaction
High
time. They
as
be
fuck.
sitting there, right, just higher than a fucking kite. And these are the people that's responsible for taking one patient to another area to get an X-ray or whatever, and you sending them down the hallway with a high bitch.
Right. And then they like to, when the doctor's like, oh, go give them this drug, they like to bang the shit against the side of the sharps container of
No,
disposal, and then they put that shit in their pocket and they go get high in the bathroom.
I can't. Whenever
Yep.
y'all see black men at the hospital and they have on scrubs, 9 times out of 10, you're looking at somebody that's either an addict or they're fucking a nurse, a mammy
Yep.
nurse that's giving him shit
The
out of that
drugs.
hospital. Dead
Exactly.
ass serious. But yeah, protect. Do I even need to go over this shit? Do I? L, do I? L. Do I? It seems so self-explanatory, but
But
every
you
fucking
know, but
day.
you can't go off of that though. You know these motherfuckers are slow.
Hmm.
I
But
would
see,
take Thanos over those bitches. I'm serious. I would take Thanos with a few rings over those bitches. Few of them stones,
Well,
yeah.
Thanos wanted to do what was right. He thought that
Okay,
getting rid
y'all.
of a third of the universe was a good idea, and I think he was trying to get rid of the niggas, honestly, because
He's just gonna get rid of Africa.
yeah, just
oops.
yeah, wipe the
Oops.
motherfuckers off the mouth. Let's start over.
The thing is, you have to keep. I don't understand what you're still on the fence about. I don't know what you're still on the fence about. Please do not let these Johnny come lately. Oh, we have to try and protect black women. Pandering ass motherfuckers get your panties in a bunch. They don't mean it at all. They've meant what they said from the very beginning. They are not required or obligated to protect you up under any circumstances. Okay? You don't remind them of their mother or their sister, and I'd be damned if I didn't mention the fact that they knocking their mamas and their sisters off these days. Okay? They've never protected you. Give me a goddamn break. It's never happened.
On the holidays, mind you.
Right. Right. Not only are they not protecting you, they are the ones that's beating your ass. You already know this shit. We go over it a lot. Okay? For black women, domestic violence risks are extremely high. In fact, they are 30 to 50% more likely to experience domestic violence than white women. How y'all get past that? I don't know. I don't know. Shane?
Yes, ma'am. I don't really have anything to add on this part. We already know the stats on this, and we already
Well, they
know.
pretending like it don't exist. Y'all, when I'm not up in here on YouTube, I hang out like a bat upside down in other places just looking around, seeing who's saying what. And they don't believe this shit is true.
Because
These
you
came
racist.
from right. These came from black publications, y'all. Protect? Nah. They're the ones that's going to make sure you're not protected. You are the most unprotected thing on earth. And that's because the people that were charged with protecting you said, fuck you. Fuck you with no lube.
No
But
Vaseline.
no Vaseline, no lube.
That's what they like anyway. Maggots.
In this section of the article, they're telling you why you remain silent. I was disgusted to find out that you remain silent because you're scared of what the police are going to do to him. Excuse me? I don't think so. I don't fucking think so. Hey, Dusties, remember that stat you asked me to show you? There it is. I think this might be the most disgusting part of this show tonight. You said you wanted your shit cited. There it is. And this is lower than the other one that they reported.
These
The
are just
other
the
one
ones
is-
they report though, DZ. These ain't even
Yes.
all. I'm sure it's in the 90s.
Yes.
Facts.
I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that at all. 90s.
I most definitely think it's in the 90s.
Y'all scared of what the police gonna do to them, and y'all sacrificing us to do so because you don't want them to chip a nail on Ty-rone. It's pretty quiet, so let me go ahead and share this link because motherfuckers ask me 50 billion goddamn time. Where you getting that number from? I can't find that number. You capping. Let me go ahead and put the link
All
down
you
here.
gotta do is Google the shit.
Listen, they be
Google is free.
gaslighting their ass off. Honey, the stat is there. Period. Zach, your camera is on, sir. And I have a very, very controversial space, and I don't want you to get your ass handed to you. How may
Understood.
how may I help you?
Oh, well, I know that this is mostly for women, but just wanted to throw in my 2 cents if that's okay.
That's fine. I'm all ears.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know that the camera was the reason, but in any case, just average white guy, early 30s and married. So I think that, you know what I like most about you is that you're completely no nonsense about this. I think that there's just sort of this built-in thing, I guess it seems like in the Western world, that we're supposed to be politically correct and that somehow, the not offending people somehow supersedes the truth. But
Right.
the thing is, genuine love, if you genuinely love somebody, I mean, one of the hallmarks of genuine love is that you prefer to tell them the harsh truth over a cushy lie. I mean, it's
absolutely love Black women. This is why I say it the way I do, because I want them to get as far away from the bullshit as possible. So you're right on that.
And I do too. So that's one of the reasons. I mean, not in the same way you do, because me being a guy, I'm attracted to them. So,
right.
But I feel the same way. So, I mean,
how did you find my platform? Just curious.
Well, the thing is, I've done a decent amount of research. I looked at people like Crystal and Karazin and a lady who, did the crystal swirls. She did her YouTube platform, but something has happened to that. And, my wife is, half white, half black. So I guess the reason why it just was, I guess it started with a curiosity because of something that my parents said a while ago.
What'd your parents say?
Well, it was something that they said years ago, and I find very interesting. I mean, just full disclosure, I come from a very traditional conservative Christian background, and
Gotcha. I know exactly that's how my in-laws are. So,
and it's just interesting because sometimes you have people in your life who say something that's at the time seems kind of off the cuff, or just they seem to mention it sort of like in passing, and then it kind of affects you later on. And it's just, that's how it was with me. Like, my mom along with my dad, they told me that, should I ever get married someday, that what they care about is that she's a Christian like I am. And they said, if you decide don't worry, like, we care about her character and that she's a follower of Christ. So if you decide, like, if you fall in love with a Black woman, then you don't have to worry about us objecting because of race. And it's just interesting because at the time it just seemed like kind of a random comment. And, it's interesting because the lady I married, she's half white and half black. And it's just interesting that what initially seemed like kind of an off-the-cuff thing ended up being one of those things that later had a lot of effect on me. And
well, Zach, let me tell you this. It's so interesting that you showed up for this particular show because the black community would consider you a bottom shelf Brad. Have you ever heard the insults that are hurled whenever black women say that's enough, I'm leaving? Then they start calling motherfuckers bottom shelf. Have you heard those insults?
I have heard some of the pejorative or the insulting terms that they refer to that are the double standard where, black men generally they can get away with a lot of stuff that in terms of interracial dating and other areas, and whereas if black women decide to do the same thing, there are certain just really insulting terms, and I know what those are. However, out of respect, I would like to refrain from repeating them, but I have heard of some of them.
Let me translate to the mammies and the dusties. He said respect. You want me to tell you what the fuck that means, or are you good? Dusties, respect is where you go ahead and make sure that you're not being inappropriate and you respect others that are around you. I know that you got lost on that word, so I didn't want you to be lost in the conversation. Respect is something that's very foreign in Blackistan. As a matter of fact, they pride themselves on disrespect, which is the antithesis of respect. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Go ahead.
I guess for some individuals, unfortunately, respect is like a foreign language.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, I guess what I wanted to say to contribute, if it's all right, like, it's interesting because I know that, like, typically the black community, like, I would say the majority of people in the black community have voted Democrat. And because of me being, very conservative and stuff, that was initially one of the reasons why I was kind of hesitant to, go out there initially. Not the racial stuff, but it was more the political aspect that, there are certain individuals who seem to have too much time on their hands, and
tell me about it.
Tell me about it. There are some individuals who have too much time on their hands, like they have more time than sense, so to speak, and you can fill in the blanks with what I mean.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, it's the kind of thing that, me being a straight white male, in this society, at least among the radical leftists, I'm basically fair game for any kind of reputation destroying game that they would like to play if I do anything that's the slightest bit out of line in their minds. So that was one of the reasons why, initially I wasn't as inclined to go over to date people, a group of people who generally, not always, but generally tend to vote Democratic because of the whole party politics thing. However, what happened in the case of my wife is that she was a childhood friend, and my brother was actually the one who introduced me to her. So it was, we met in church, and it was really nice because my brother was the one who introduced me to her, and he started talking to her because, he saw her kind of just standing over there, and he wanted to be friendly and introduce himself to her.
I think you used another word that the black community, Blackistan is not, especially Dusties, that they aren't familiar with that word, marriage. Blackistan, marriage is where a man wants to be with a woman for the rest of his goddamn life. At least he feels like that at the moment he's getting ready to act. They go down to the courthouse, tell the court, I love this woman. This is our name, driver's license, social security number. And they give you a marriage license. After that, you become married and you're recognized as a couple at the courthouse. They don't know what marriage is. Sorry to interrupt people.
No, that's okay. You got to clarify some things sometimes. But what I was going to say is it was actually very interesting because one night I was actually, just praying to God for wisdom. It's like, so Lord, if it's okay, if it's your will, please, give me advice on who I should, seek, because like who I should kind of look at when looking for someone to date. And long story short, I got, he gave me some advice. And so both of us had Facebook accounts, and it's actually really, really funny because I was just talking to her on Facebook. And so I just randomly in her eyes, completely out of the blue, I said, hey, I got a question. And so she asked me, what was it? And so I said, hey, so I love, so you and I have been friends for a long time, and I respect you a lot. So my question is this: do you want to be more than friends? And apparently she was so shocked that I sent her that message over Facebook asking her out that way that it
Zach,
took her
you
like
mean to
5 minutes
tell
to
me you didn't say, "Hey, bitch, what that mouth do"? You didn't say that instead. I mean, listen, you're confusing the shit out of the people in the clouds. Saying respectful shit, asking someone out, being cordial. They're not familiar with that. I'm having to be bilingual here.
Well, yeah, I understand, but the thing is, I mean, it's not the responsibility of the child when it comes to having a stable, there being a stable marriage. But I was blessed by God that both of my parents, they did everything possible to, make sure there was a stable family. Like my dad, he never, even when he was, frustrated, he never hit my mom. And he's just like, he's not a very outgoing person, but he's a very patient person to the point where it can be rather difficult to deal with if you want him to make a decision.
They're lost. They're
I
lost.
mean,
You
yeah,
just said your dad didn't hit your mom, and most black women are indeed punching bags when they deal with Dusties. So, again, translation: he didn't commit domestic violence against this man's mother, i.e., gaslighting, i.e., mental abuse, i.e., right hooks type shit. So,
yeah. So
thank you, Patricia. She's so silly.
yeah, I mean, I understand that that's something I didn't have any control over. So I think the right thing to do is just give thanks to God that that was the case, because I know that there are a lot of children who sadly grew up with without that stuff, and it's
77% to be exact in the black community, and in your community it's over 90% whenever the father happens to be Dusty. So
Well,
it's extremely high. When you say
well,
extremely high, you don't know how high you're talking.
yeah, you're right. I mean, both of my parents, both my parents are white, so it wasn't anything like an interracial marriage. But in any case, if it's all right with you, I know that I was just watching one of those videos when another YouTuber, I can't remember her name, but if it's all right with you, DZ, I wanted to. I know that black women sadly get their image dragged by black men a lot,
Yep.
and if it's all right with you, I wanted to do the opposite of that. I know that sadly a lot of men, disrespect black women, and there's really no excuse for it. So if it's all right with you, I want to do the opposite in that regard, and I wanted to share some attributes that in general, not always, but in general, the attributes that I consider to be desirable in black women, because unfortunately that often gets either completely ignored or downplayed. And
Well, I'm gonna
He
tell
about
you
to trigger
why.
everybody. He about
He
to trigger
is.
all of
I feel the trigger coming. The reason that happens is this: in the black community, black women are expected to mule, throw people on their back, and put everybody in front of them. So, in order to keep that happening, they take shots at their self-esteem. A black man can be completely attracted to a black woman, but he's not going to keep her self-esteem too high because she would love herself, and i.e., she wouldn't do all the bullshit that they want black women to do. So you're indeed getting ready to trigger a lot of people. Are you getting ready to share a link, or are you getting ready to say something, or what's going on here?
well, really, more or less, I was just going to disclose just my personal opinion, and why certain general attributes of why I find them to be, in terms of romantic relationships in particular, but not being the only context.
All
Well,
right, get your popcorn, y'all. He getting ready to
My
name some
mammy
shit he
senses are
love.
tingling.
now, full disclosure, if my voice sounds to be a bit unusual, I am on the autism spectrum, high functioning autism. So if my voice seems to be a bit off from the average person, just full disclosure that's probably part of the reason why. So I didn't want people to wonder why. I figured full disclosure.
Oh, that's
So
fine. At least you was honest. Shit.
yeah,
You don't get that off of a bunch of people. You leave it up to the Dusties on here. They all graduated from Yale around this bitch, and they got a $200,000 a year gig, and you ought to be happy to talk to them. You're being blessed when you talk to them. So at least you was honest. Go ahead with your list. Ain't nobody picking on you, honey.
yeah, I understand. I've gotten, from listening to your lives, I've kind of gotten used to, and grown fond of your blunt style of communication. It's refreshing when the PC people are the ones who are often calling the shots in other areas. In any case, so attributes, the general attributes that I find desirable in Black women, I would say, and this, I'm speaking not only of romantic relationships, but also in general, but in general, the attributes that I like about Black women are they're in general, they're very direct. I mean, you have certain other groups of individuals who are almost obsessed with beating around the bush. Not going to name names, you can fill in the blanks, but
Being direct in the Black community as a Black woman is called being masculine and loud. So,
angry.
yes, and very angry. So, there's your translation for that. I told you guys a few times, you don't have to put your pinky up and act a damn weirdo fool in order to attract others. There's somebody out there for you. He said that he liked women that are direct. Keep going, Zach.
And for number one, that's especially true because, I mean, as someone on the autism spectrum, the vast majority of us have a hard time just by the nature of it, reading, implications and stuff like that, and reading, the unwritten rules of social stuff. So people like me, I think part of it's being American that we often value directness, but when you couple that with me being on the autism spectrum, that becomes exceptionally pronounced. So I would say that's number one. Second reason is that, with few exceptions, Black women do not do things halfway. They usually, once they find something that they are willing to work on, they do it wholeheartedly. They're not the type to be indecisive, and that is something, when it comes to starting a business, when it comes to going to college, as long as you have wise counsel and you have a good worldview, then I can tell you that will pay off in spades. That's awesome.
Well, in the Black community, that's called being a strong, independent bitch, and that's frowned upon, even though they need you to be strong and independent so that you can support everybody in the family. Ain't that right, mules? What's up with number 3?
Okay, so number 3, I would say just general, not doing anything halfway. There's just that general zest for life as well that, not only does it apply to, being a hard worker and stuff, but just in general, I mean, there are certainly other ethnicities of people who are pronounced about, who are enthusiastic about stuff, but I don't know exactly how to, describe it, but there's just a certain enthusiasm that, applies not only to work and education and stuff, but it's
It's
also
a fine line, Zach. I'm gonna tell you why. And I hate to keep interrupting you, but we got to be bilingual here.
understood.
A lot of times when Black women are that way and they have a smile on their face while they're muling, that smile is it's there, but it's not. Black women are taught to get the job done, get through it, have a positive attitude, but you got to get the job done, right? So sometimes when you see that smile is masking a little bit of exhaustion.
Meaning that sometimes it's insincere.
No, not insincere, because a lot of mammies love doing what they do, even though I can't wrap my mind around it. But sometimes the smile is forced, especially after you come along and see a Black woman that's worked 60 hours a week for the past 2 months because they have a project they are working on, quote unquote, yet he's only working 20 hours. She's smiling because she has to. But yes, Black women do get the job done regardless.
60 hours, that's full-time, and then 50% on top of that.
Okay, so it's Christmas time. You don't know the real Black community. Okay, it's Christmas time right now, and a lot of Black women are working those hours because, of course, the Dusties are not contributing to what they need to get to the kids. So the bills are still going to be there, but needing additional money for the holidays is going to cause a lot of Black women to have to work overtime. That's just the fact of the matter.
Well,
I know it's tiring even listening to it, isn't it?
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Nah.
So let's see. I'm trying to think. trying to remember where I was at.
You was on number 3, and you were saying that they are direct and get the job done, and
Yeah, just general enthusiasm.
Mhm.
And let's see, I'm just trying to think of what would be some of the other reasons. I mean, to be perfectly honest, my dad, he worked very hard to provide so that, we could live on one income. And my mom, for most of my school, for most of the years when I was school age, she worked very hard to homeschool us. And dad, he did everything that he needed to so we could live on one income. And it was tough,
so
but it
they're
was
traditional, pretty much traditional. And
relatively speaking. And the thing is that it was interesting because I went to elementary school for first and second grade, but unfortunately, I had a teacher who was, she would like shout at she would shout at us, and like she would just pretend to be all nice when the parents were around. She was like verbally abusive.
so your mom
And
pulled you out and did it herself, pretty much.
well, yeah, but the thing that I find admirable is that in addition to obviously her taking the initiative with that, what I find admirable with my dad is that, the people at the school, they were wondering, well, why does she want to homeschool school them? And, my dad was meeting with them, and he was talking about how it was for our good. And, so there was this, I don't remember who it was, but one of the people present in the room said to him, you're their dad. How do you know what's right for them? And to his credit, in one of the very few times of which I'm aware of him being outright angry, he basically shut them up and said, excuse me? Don't you dare act like you know
Your
more about.
family was protective of you, and that's a very good thing. You had a father that was active in the home. That's what that was.
Right, but I really liked that he said, don't you dare tell me that you know more about me than my own children. And so it was just, in the long run, it turned to be a good decision because, my mom really emphasized, and as far as who I am overall, I'm very much more of an academic person than an athletic person. Like, I like exercising, but, I've always been
I can
someone who,
tell you beating around the bush. Most
yeah,
black men are always relying on their athleticism to get recognized. Listen, I know how hard it is to talk up here with all the rules that go down here. So I'm reading between the lines. I got you. Go ahead, academia.
yeah. So my mom very much invested in me and my brother's education, even though both me and him are on the autism spectrum. And, you know, there were times when, we're not poor, but there were times when we very much had to struggle financially. And, my mom continued to homeschool me for over a decade. And if I had to summarize, my parents are both very loving people. And even though me and my wife, we have our own place now, I still respect them a lot.
Do
And
you and
if
your wife have children?
the thing is, we would like to have kids. We just
Mhm.
need to we need to seek the Lord in prayer and find out that if that's the right thing. I would very much like to be a dad. I mean, it's like this, it's like this persistent urge that I want to be a dad. I don't know if that's what he wants, but I would very much like to be. I mean, it
Well,
would it would
if
take a few. Oh, I'm sorry.
if all the stars line up, go for
Yeah,
it. But I wouldn't force it because this world is really, really different than what it was a couple decades ago.
no
It's
joke.
completely different.
Oh,
So
no joke. One of the things they taught me very adamant about was my dad was very adamant about this is, they said, among other things, they brought me up and, taking what the Bible says literally. And for my dad, he was very adamant about telling me, don't have sex outside of marriage. And it was interesting because, was it
I enjoy talking to you because I'm atheist. So when you say when you keep referring to God, I'm like, huh? But
oh, well, okay, I didn't know that. That's
yeah, it's all good. I can get along with somebody. It's a couple of women here on the panel right now that actually are Christian and that type of shit. But we get along. We get along anyway, okay? Because I'm not trying
fair.
to tell nobody
Yeah,
who to serve. Just trying to get them away from black men. And I appreciate you sharing your story
fair
with us.
enough.
I hope
Religious
you subscribe
affiliation.
and come back again because I got to finish
Yeah.
dragging Zach. Okay.
Fair enough. Religious affiliation or the lack of it is and ought to be voluntary. So yeah, but in any case, so yeah, they taught me to wait until marriage, and while it was annoying when I was growing up, it saved me a world of hurt, especially when you talk about I've heard that stuff when you talk about STDs and the prevalence in certain contexts.
Yeah, we're here
It's
for it.
something
Yep.
it's something that can be more than a minor headache for certain individuals if they are not prepared, to put it mildly. But
So you
yeah,
heard me say Star Crunch Coochie before.
well, I wasn't referring to
Dead.
that. I wasn't referring to those instances necessarily, but I'm
Fucking
talking about just
dying.
the general context of your talks, how that is a frequent, and recurring,
Because
it's
the
a recurring.
Dusties in the community, they have sex with everything: men, women, cats, dogs,
Animals.
themselves, objects. So the women that try to stay in the black community, they catch the residual of what's hanging onto his penis, and it usually develops a star crunch coochie. Those are the
Ah,
problems of that community, and that's why I want black women away from them motherfuckers. Real
yeah,
talk.
it's like an invisible form of collateral damage, honestly.
It is.
Yeah,
It
but
is.
in
Don't
any
forget the
case,
dolphins.
Man,
Oh
Dolphins.
stop
yeah, that's
playing with me
right.
though. Like,
That's
Yeah,
right.
okay,
there,
well,
there was a dolphin.
yeah, and I guess so. Yeah, I would say as far as why other reasons I like black women, just the cultural. It's just a different. I would say different cultural aspects. I'm of the persuasion, having studied history and geography in college, which are my areas of expertise, I'm of the persuasion that virtually all aspects of culture can be tied to at least one of two things: identity, emphasis, or a combination of the two. Like identity, this is who we are relative to other people. Emphasis, this is what we value. This is what we value the most, etc. Because
What do you see black people valuing? And I mean, keep it all the way real. If you had to name 3 things that Blackistani folks value, what would those 3 things be?
simply put, I'm convinced that unless people have a solid moral background, and sometimes even if they do, but especially if someone is not a very good moral person.
Just generally.
Yeah,
Generally.
well, human nature is very self-centered. So unless someone has a strong moral compass, whatever you decide to cite as the source in a given context, people will do what they can
Zach
generally.
is being a sweetheart,
you being
y'all.
so nice.
He's
People,
being a sweetheart.
Too
Zach is
nice.
sweet. Do you hear me? Because I was waiting for the good shit to come up. He's trying to be nice to y'all.
right. So
Right.
I would so I will say in general, there are exceptions to this, but in general, outside of a religious or strong moral context, people will do what they can get away with. People are naturally selfish,
Facts.
so they will generally have the mentality that might makes right. I mean, they will do what they can get away with, and they will.
Translation, mammies, honey, all that stuff that's happening to y'all and you keep letting it happen, that's what's going to continue to happen because you let them get away with it. You haven't packed your shit, you haven't left, you haven't divested, you sitting your ass on that fence, and he know you're not going nowhere, so he gonna keep fucking your cousin, the one from Philadelphia. Yeah, he's gonna keep fucking her,
Oof.
and your kids are gonna have multiple step siblings because you don't think enough of yourself to get the fuck out of Blackistan. Anyway.
Well, DZ, if you think about it, that's why they say you should have chose better, because they know choosing better isn't choosing them.
Period.
Right. So I will say that based on, I've always grown up in suburban environments, so I don't know except anecdotally, what inner cities are like and stuff like that. So I will say that outside of having a moral compass, what people will value the most is strength. And with strength in terms of being the most powerful, whether it's protecting what they perceive as their own, or being able to brag and say they're stronger than others, whatever the motivation, I will say that outside of a moral compass, people will value strength above all else, and they don't care where that strength comes from, how they got it. They just care about maintaining it. I mean,
See,
reason.
now
Okay.
you know why black
Okay.
men are. Yeah, go ahead, Divest OG. You thinking the same thing I'm
Okay.
thinking? Go
Okay.
ahead.
So with you saying that, you said the money was tight. You had a traditional home. Your mom and dad are still, took care of you guys. When there was frustrations over money, did your mama get a right hook, honey?
Never.
Thank you.
Lord.
Never. My dad never did that. I mean, I don't know that I can't, as far as I know, that never even crossed his mind because, his parents raised him better than that. So,
In other
Enough
words, that
said.
Blessed OG, she was trying to say black men a lot of times use poverty as a reason to do all the shit that they're doing. Impoverished. And Mammy's a co-signer. He's just frustrated because he's trying to provide, and she's donating that left jaw for his right hook. That's what she's saying.
well, the thing is, regardless of what, there are certain, I believe that, and people are free to disagree with me if they so choose. Individual dignity implies that people can have their own opinions, but I believe that there are certain moral absolutes that, God in his goodness has said are either always right or always wrong. And one of those things is I believe it's always wrong to abuse someone. There's nothing
Thank you.
there's never an excuse for that stuff, no matter how poor you are, no matter how, even if, you went through trauma or stuff. I mean, if you went through trauma that makes you more inclined to do that stuff, then get a therapist, find help. It is out there. There are viable alternatives to, having a living punching bag. I mean, there are viable alternatives, and it's wrong to abuse someone regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of your circumstances or your opinion. God's opinion supersedes yours. And last time I checked, none of the people who are walking upright these days are capable of just snapping their fingers and creating a galaxy. So
In the black community, the black man is God. Have you ever heard them say that?
Yeah, well, well, if they really are, then they should prove it by actually creating things that work. Prove
There
it.
you go.
Yo.
I'm done. Thank you very much.
If they really think they're God, then prove it by creating something that actually is functional, that actually helps other people.
Well, what about rapping? Does rapping help? They rap. They
I'm
rap.
gonna need a Gur of Nig or Mammy to get up here and dispute.
In the context of that, the context of those songs really does way more harm than good, given that the themes are just so demeaning. I mean,
exactly.
The art form by itself can be used for good things. It's just sadly the majority of those who are, big names in that field have chosen to use it primarily or exclusively for personal gain. But here's the thing that I wanted to say, though, and you can feel free to, take this to heart if you so choose. I would say, here are the things. There's this triangle of, I would say, abstract things that is absolutely crucial in order to have a healthy society. A triangle meaning there are at least 3 attributes to it. More than that, most likely. But I think at minimum 3 of them. And I believe that at minimum, you need to have the following in order to have a stable society. You need to have rights, you need to have responsibility, and you need to have respect. I think that the primary problem...
You will never go to Blackistan. You're not invited. It's not going to happen for you. So you just need to stay in the suburb.
Yeah, so
I have
what?
a comment
I didn't want
to
to go
make.
anyway. Yes?
I have a comment to make. Okay.
Sure.
There needs to be like a box, a Google Translate box for all the niggas and mammies that don't understand half the stuff that Zach is saying, because not one time did DZ step in and translate for anything that Zach has said in the past 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes.
Well, you're welcome to write a letter to Silicon Valley. The reception might not be the greatest, but...
Yeah. Zach just gave the most respectfully polite roast I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I think their fan base and those who work there would probably not take that very well, but it's a welcome idea for sure. So what I was going to say with that trifecta, though, is, as far as rights, respect, and responsibility. The thing that is, this is what I think is how you can tell if certain individuals in a community and or the community as a whole are dysfunctional. If you have a group of people who more often than not are insisting on rights and respect, but they refuse to, put in that third line of responsibility consistently, more often than not, that is how you can tell when a person is living a life that is dysfunctional, or even sometimes a community as a whole on a large scale. So that trifecta of rights, respect, and responsibility, at a bare minimum, you need all three of those in order to have a group, whatever, a person, a group, a community. They have to embrace all three of those if they want to actually do something constructive. That's just, and because I think that the primary thing with the Black community in America is that, and I'm talking about
he had to take a deep breath first.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Disclaimer, I am talking primarily about the men because men are the ones who are expected to be leaders.
Oh, Lord.
Shit,
Whoa.
he killing him.
Oh my
killing
God!
him.
Hold the phone.
The primary problem with, I would say, I would say the overwhelming majority of Black men is that they want to have the rights and the respect without the responsibility. There is this
Bingo.
Ooh,
Preach.
Jesus.
there's like this pathological sort of, there's this delusion among many of them that because of past grievances that magically gives them the right to demand rights and respect without responsibility. And guess what? Newsflash: life isn't fair to anyone, regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of whether you're male or female. Are there people who have had it harder than? I mean, I've studied history. I know this stuff. I know this stuff. I've studied all of the countries, from Canada to Chile, Russia to Rwanda, everywhere. I've studied history. I've studied geography. If there's a country, I know something about it and probably something about its history too. Life is unfair to everyone. Guess what? The unfairness of life does not give you any right to make it worth. Just because life is unfair, that doesn't give you the right to make it worse for anyone, regardless of what you look like.
Zach, you just created so many enemies, and I can guarantee you this: they are gonna make a video about you. One of these dust bags are gonna sit in front of the computer his mammy got for him and start bleeding out of his goddamn nutsack. Promise you.
Racism.
Right.
DZ, can I translate that, please?
Sure.
Okay. Let me try this. Okay, Dusties, that means you don't get to play make-believe just because your ancestors were enslaved. You've never seen slavery in your entire fucking life. You don't even know what it means to be a fucking slave. So just because something happened in the past doesn't mean you get to use that as an excuse to not do shit.
Hold up a second, y'all. Blaine is back.
Oh, Lord.
Blaine.
Who is
I'm
Blaine?
rooting.
Oh,
The one who asks,
who asked me who hurt me?
Yeah.
Girl.
Listen, Blaine, I'm rooting for you so hard. I got my pom-poms out, right? I'm rooting for you. Thank you for the super chat. But girlfriend, me and you gonna have to talk one day. We're gonna have to pull out our wine and we're gonna have to converse. That's pretty much it. But thank you. I'm rooting for you, girl.
Hey, so is it okay? I wanted to give another reason why I'm, among other reasons, why I'm attracted to Black women, not exclusively, but why there's a special fondness for them and why I'm especially fond of them.
Okay.
And this is something where it needs to be the same standard for everyone. I know that Black men, a lot of them like white women, and that's not going to change. Well, fine. As long as it's the same standard for everyone, that they're permitted to be attracted to a person for whatever legitimate reason or any reason that can reasonably be seen as legitimate. I'm not talking about like 12-year-olds, honestly. Duh.
Well, you just got rid of them because they're not gonna respect that.
Right, but I'm talking about like if both are adults and it's consenting and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. Black men ain't going for that shit. They say that you hit the wall at about 24 years old. So when do you hit your peak? Right?
So if black women are supposed to hit the wall at that age, did they hit the Grand Canyon or something?
Man, listen.
Or what? Did they hit the Rock of Gibraltar or Ayers Rock or something? I mean, I think if they were to hit one of those rocks with one of their fists, I think they'd be going to the hospital with some broken bones.
Yeah, they basically
not like one of the. It's not like any one of those. I mean, if they're really God, I mean, couldn't they just make one of those rocks just give just a little bit? I mean, it's like, yeah, why don't you try it? I mean, anyways, so as far
thank
as
you, K Sloan, I appreciate you.
So to finish what I was saying, I think it ought to be the same standard, for everyone. And look, black men do this all the time. So I think it ought to be the same standard in the sense that one of the reasons why I have a fondness for black women, and it's simply this. I mean, I'm a very pale guy myself, and
I saw you.
Yeah, well, I hope nobody else did.
No, nobody else did. I didn't bring you up until your camera was off.
Right, just for anonymity purposes. I mean,
right.
Anonymity is like a godsend these days when you have cancel culture and all that. But
yes,
simply put, the reason, me being a fairly pale guy myself, but simply put, I mean, one of the reasons I am fond of black women is, I mean, in a sense of opposites attract. I mean, there's just something interesting when if you're an open-minded person, that is, there's just something interesting about, well, the contrast. I mean, you can fill in the blanks what I mean by that.
Well, that brings me to, I'm gonna have to come up to the problem solving thing. That brings me to a point that I was going to say. You know how you just said opposites attract? Black women and white men are more alike than they are different in our respective communities. In our respective communities, we function as the same thing, and black women need to cut that shit out. We function as providers. We function as protectors. We're the problem solvers. We are everything to our communities, and as like with white men, they're expected to sacrifice to make sure the women and children are good. Black women are expected to do the same thing. That's
no joke.
It's so crazy that black women and white men's marriages are the most successful. And I think it has something to do with the fact that we both come from a community, respectively, that expect everything from us. Everything.
Right. And I think that you bring up another good point. And this is what I find very interesting, is that I find this very interesting in the sense that, they have these articles where they give statistics and, big surprise, people overwhelmingly in general prefer to date people of their own race. I mean, sometimes for cultural reasons, because they're more likely to understand that. But this is what I think is really, really hilarious, is that while the overwhelming majority of people prefer to date their own race, it seems like white people are the only ones condemned for it. And I'm thinking to myself, that's just got agenda written all over it, doesn't it?
Everything with them has an agenda written all over it. If you try to tell a black man that, hey, you can't have this person, they're going to tell you a myriad of reasons outside of them not wanting to be with them. That's supposed to be some anti-SJW shit. Black men are the most protected species on this planet. I say that shit all the time. If anything upsets black men, everybody has to get in line until he's satisfied, even though he contributes the least amount to whatever society he's living in. So right. I know exactly what you're saying. People should be attracted to their own race. Black women are in a very, very, very precarious situation where if they are attracted to their own race, it comes with a whole lot of shit. And a lot of it is deadly.
Right. But the thing is, a lot of these radical leftists like to operate under the illusion that it's a zero-sum game, that if you're attracted to your own race primarily, then you must hate other races. No. The thing is, if you love something, then you only have to be opposed to things that are opposite of that. I mean, white, black, red, yellow, whatever term you want to use, all races of human are equally human. So there's nothing about loving a black person that automatically makes you hate a white person. And, there's nothing about wanting, Oriental people to do better in a certain area there's nothing about being of a certain ethnicity that automatically makes you a prisoner to a certain mentality, or that automatically means that you have to believe a certain thing, or that you have to excel in a certain area, that you have to be fond of certain things. They want to make this a zero-sum game because they don't like America. They just find it totally detestable that a country that was founded on biblical principles can succeed beyond most people's wildest dream. That is something that is just utterly detestable to them. It's just like they have this satanic rage against Western civilization because the best way to explain the success of the West is that the influence of Christianity, and really the success of Western civilization, I believe, cannot be properly understood apart from the influence of Christianity. It's not numbers. It's not a lot of that stuff. It's Christianity. I mean, the Asian cultures have always had the numerical advantage, so it can't be that. So there just seems to be this satanic rage among leftists that there's a civilization that is based on taking responsibility and other stuff that's antithetical to what they believe in.
Wait one sec, Zach. Let's not blame Satan for voluntary choices, okay?
Oh God.
Oh, I'm talking about, influence, like, demons can influence, I'm talking about, well, in any case, I'm not talking, wait, maybe that was a joke, but I'm talking about the anger and stuff. Like, I'm not good at like reading people and stuff like that.
No, she's a Satanist. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, religion is a touchy subject.
yeah,
here,
we don't
so.
talk about it.
okay,
We just let people do what they want.
fair enough. But what I'm saying is that there's this just extreme self-centered rage that anything that, could possibly erode. And the thing is, there's a reason why this is what I think is the bread and butter,
After this point right here, I'm getting back to my drag. So
yeah,
make it good.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't mean to take
you're
up too much
fine.
of that.
No,
All
you're
right, but
fine.
this is what I think, as far as why is there this attempt to drag specifically black woman, white man relationships? And I believe that the primary reason why is because they're, black men don't want black women thinking that they have viable alternatives. That's one.
Of course.
The second reason is because if they see white men marrying black women and there's a critical mass of those relationships, and they see that they're doing better than sometimes even the same race relationships, it causes this victim narrative to utterly crumble. And it reveals once and for all, in a way that the black community can no longer cover up, that the problem is with the black men and them having a victim mentality. It means that they can no longer blame racism. They cannot blame poverty. It shows on a society-wide scale that they have absolutely no excuse for their failures. I believe that is ultimately the reason why they accuse white men like me of fetishizing black women, even though that's totally ridiculous. But they never have that smoke for black men who objectify white women. Let's be real. I think that is ultimately the reason why these relationships are so just condemned in the majority of cases, for no good reason. I mean,
I'm here to tell you that black women are literally the caretakers. They're scared of losing their caretakers. If their caretakers walk away to other communities, black men are still going to need someone to take care of them, and they're afraid right now. So they're going to blame racism. They're going to blame everything, fetishization, all that shit, just to get black women to stay. So when you hear that, it's them being afraid of losing their pillow that they're able to fall on every time they fuck up.
Well, if that's their motivation, then they have. I'm really hoping that this. I mean, I love what you're doing, DZ, and I am really hoping, in my heart of hearts, that what you're doing, that a lot of women will listen to this and it reaches a critical mass,
Mhm.
you know, in terms of like point of no return, like there's no long, like enough people are believing it, you know, are just
Well, the
like
information is
following your
out
advice.
there. The information is out there. They
Right.
would literally have to just reject the information, even though they know it's facts. So at that point, those black women are no longer victims. They're volunteers at that point. I can't do the
Right.
volunteer. If you already knew that it was fucked up and you stayed, that's on you, sis. I'm gonna cover your story whenever your shit hit the fan.
Well, right, but I'm
I
talking
appreciate
about
you
just
coming up.
yeah, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing it reach a critical mass. I think it will. I don't
I
know
hope so.
when, but I mean, I don't know when, but if it reaches a critical mass soon, then people like you will rightfully get will deserve a lot of credit for that. And as far as the people who are, and as if black men are in that state where, you know, for those who are doing that, where they're just kind of being freeloaders, they got two options. If, you know, if black women start leaving them in significant numbers to, you know, choose their options elsewhere with men who are more deserving of their time and their efforts. If they have a woman who does that and she leaves for a guy who deserves better, you know, a guy who deserves her time and her efforts. If you got black men that are doing that and they were freeloading, then if that happens, they've got two options: grow up or starve.
Listen, they're going to starve, Zach. There is no growing up. Black men are going to be black men no matter what. Even if reparations were paid and the country said, you know what, we was wrong. Here's your payback for everything that you did for this country. We apologize. Let's get you set up. Say, for instance, they give them money, right? Set up grocery stores, schools, hospitals, all that shit that a community needs to be safe and thrive. Even then, that shit will implode and you'll be right back at square one because they don't know how to do anything else but be victims and blame everybody else for their shit, even though they're the men in that community. So you said grow up or starve. It's going to be B. They're going to starve or get some breast milk from mammies. Fuck, I don't know, but they not getting ready to do nothing. And that's a fact.
Well, perhaps at a bare minimum, it's grow up or lose everything of value.
Yep, I'm working on it. I'm getting as many black women away from them dumbasses as I can. Like I said, I appreciate you coming up, Zach. I'm getting ready to drag some more shit.
And your efforts are appreciated by non-black men, just like they are by black women. So
I know it. My inbox be twerking, honey.
so yeah, I will let you go so that you can continue your astute commentary and
I'm
just good luck with everything, okay?
All these fancy words.
Don't be a stranger. I appreciate you coming up. Real talk.
All right, good luck.
Thank you, hon. Y'all, let me tell you. Your communities are fucked. We just had, for just coincidentally, I hadn't met Zach before today, talking about bottom shelf brads, what y'all consider bottom shelf brads. Even on the spectrum, he made more sense than some of the Morehouse men that graduate from your HBC goddamn U's. All right. But this right here is what your community looks like every goddamn day. And like I said, we in wintertime, this shit gonna kick back up. Have fun.
Voices of a Nation records show gun violence in Jacksonville continues to disproportionately impact the black community at an alarming rate. According to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, in 2017, there were 116 homicides, 80 black victims versus 34 white victims. In 2020, there were 41 homicides, that is, 100.
This is Jacksonville, Florida, another capital of Blackistan, because like I said, it has many capitals. This is just one city, one time, times I don't know how many Blackistani capitals. Okay, this is what you're holding out for.
And 10 of the victims were black, 30 were white. News4Jax reporter Zach Lashway is speaking with two families affected by gun violence, and tonight they're showing us what they're doing to try to ensure other parents won't have to deal with the pain of losing a child.
4 years ago, and 1 week to the day,
Maurice had just turned 18 2 days before. he was shot.
The Hobbs family went from celebrating to mourning.
January 26, 2017 was the day that he began to live through me.
A fence, now red, marks the spot where 18-year-old Maurice Hobbs took his last breath.
I made a wrong turn, and moments later, shots rang out.
Hobbs was driving to pick up Maurice.
Maybe had I just went straight and not turned right, he would still be here. It's a struggle. I'm his mother. I live and breathe for my children. It's my duty, it's my job to protect my children.
Did you hear her? Not one mention of the father, right? She said it's her duty and her job to protect her children. You're supposed to protect your children as a mom. Where do your top shelf Ty-rones come in any of this? They don't have to do anything. And the thing is this, the dude that's interviewing her, he's not going to ask her where he is because it's a touchy subject when you ask people like her, where the daddy at? They're never there.
I feel like I failed him.
The mother heard the gunshots that killed her son.
This was the street you were not able to find that January night.
Yes, it is. You know, those responsible for the harm of my son, they may have forced him to transcend, but they never took his life.
Do you long for the day you can take that sign down?
I do. I long for it, and I'm fighting for it.
And she fights for others.
Jacksonville is bleeding. I found a purpose in my pain, and I'm committed, and I'm dedicated to serving my son justice and to also help elevate voices of violent crime, other families that are still fighting.
On the east side,
when the shots started coming, he ran this way and tried to get behind the car, but ended up falling right here.
Kim Varner Sr., a retired JSO officer, shows us the spot his 25-year-old son, Kim Varner Jr., also known as Desi, was gunned down.
They took my best friend from me. My oldest boy was my best friend.
This was in September 2015. Since then,
I walk the streets and I do it to honor my son.
Varner says the solution to gun violence is accountability, and it starts with the community.
You need people hitting the block.
It strengthens the fight.
For a minute there, right? Y'all was like, uh-oh, a black father's there. I'm telling y'all out of my own mouth, I think he joined her organization because he's trying to get his penis wet. Watch what I'm saying.
You know, stronger together.
And you got numbers. There's strength in numbers.
Unable to pray bullets away, the voices of the streets are praying through their feet in hopes of putting an end to gun violence. In Jacksonville, Zach Lajway, Channel 4, the local
Why are you
station.
touching her like that?
Because
I was thinking the same shit.
Oh, she looks so uncomfortable.
Because he's there doing what the Dusties do. I saw him and literally I'm like, oh, he messing up the clip. Nope. He's still part of the clip. He's not doing that because of her son. He's doing that because he's trying to get in this woman's underwear. He's way too close to her. Okay.
Yeah, if you rewind it, she moved out of the way and he took his arm off, and then when she stood back up straight, he put his arm back around her.
Yeah, they don't respect boundaries at all. They don't know what personal space
They
is,
really
nor do
don't.
they care.
Fuck.
And Case Loan, they better not accuse me of paying him. I ain't never met Zach. They can say what they want to, though. They gonna say what they want to say anyway. He just did a intellectual drag, and they gonna have to be upset about it. Fuck it. But yeah, take it back just a little bit, and you'll see exactly what she was just talking about. He's too fucking close to her.
Solution to gun violence is accountability, and it starts with the community.
You need people hitting the block.
It strengthens the fight, you know.
He pulled her in right there. He's not there because he missed his son, his so-called best friend. He's attention whoring and he's pandering right now. Period.
Stronger together.
And you got numbers. There's strength in numbers.
Unable to pray bullets away, the voices of
Bruh. No. No. Absolutely not.
Now watch this part. She moves out so he can move his arm off of her because this motherfucker leaning all up in her shit. And then he puts his arm back around her for a third fucking time.
of the streets are praying through their feet in hopes of putting an end to gun violence. In Jacksonville,
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for
Ugh.
him whatsoever. I'm sure he was lackluster just like the rest of them are, right?
Yo, look at this super chat, bro.
It says what?
You didn't have to say you was white. We know you're not white because you said it. But
This you know who this is? I think this is
that's
the
my
one that you.
stalker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the same one.
All they got is $2. They donate like $6 and then they leave. That's all they got.
Oh
I'm
my
white. Sure you are.
God.
And they
No white man would say that. That's how I know you full of shit.
No white man would ever say that stuff.
And what white person?
And then they would never spell white
They would
like
say
that.
white like that. Yeah. That's a black person term.
Oh
Get the
yeah,
fuck outta here.
facts.
If y'all gonna try and infiltrate and try to make people think that you're somebody you're not, go ahead and study the people. See, because the white dudes that come here always click the link, right? And they
Brad cute though.
Showed his face. I had to tell him to cut his camera off. You behind, I know you wish you looked like that, right? Because that bread is indeed hot. But honey, you're not doing good at trolling at all. I might have to demand that you bring your ass. It's Friday night, isn't it? Yeah, let me go ahead and put this link down here, bitch.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm white.
And first of all, I've been on enough white channels that I know when white men want to troll, they're not paying $2 to fucking do it. Stop.
I can't.
And why he picked the name Brad?
Because he's a fucking
like
idiot.
what the fuck? That's stupid.
A fucking idiot.
So dumb. Like, God, they get on here every day and just show how fucking stupid they are. They can't hold a fucking conversation. They can't form a fucking sentence. They say the dumbest fucking shit that they can. Y'all are so fucking dumb.
Patricia,
And they can't even lie right. They don't even know how to tell a lie right.
Right. What white person spells white like that? Like, ugh.
They don't.
So weird.
Honey, you wouldn't be in here talking like that if you the thing is, I'm almost embarrassed because you did this and it's like it wasn't even believable, not even slightly believable. Fuck wrong with you. See, ladies, everybody's revealing themselves. What I've told you since we came on here at 7:30 is the fucking facts. The bottom shelf Brads are actually better than your top shelf Ty-rones. And I'm not trying to call this motherfucker here a top shelf Ty-rone because he only ever has $2. And I'm tired of your ramen noodle money. Dead serious. I am tired of you giving me your ramen noodle money. Point blank, period. Learn some goddamn boundaries and stay your motherfucking ass from over here or click the link. I'm not fixing to talk to y'all in that comment section. Hey, Miss Simmons, I'm sorry. I appreciate you. Where you been? Yeah, I'm not going to have you continue to donate $2 and keep reading your shit. I put the link down there. If you want some smoke, bring your broke, crusty, ashy ass up here and get the smoke and stop being a pussy.
He be in all the black women creator spaces. Like he be on Paris Milan space using my picture. And I'm just like, nigga, you weird.
Miss Simmons said, I thought a trash bag said something.
Girl.
Bruh. The last space he was in, he had his $2 rejected because he didn't have the finances.
I can't.
And then fucked around and tried to do $1.99 or $1.98 or some shit and had it rejected a second fucking time. I'm screaming.
I'm not even worried about his ass. I need to click on here to see how the fuck you do refunds. It's probably gonna charge Google or cost Google more to refund your $2 than the $2 actually cost, with your raggedy ass. Welcome back to the panel, Maya. How are you? Okay, she stepped away. Janice, are you dusty?
Y'all get the
Janice is dusty.
They're so you see how they get up here screaming and shit. That white man did not raise his voice not one time. These motherfuckers can't get up here and start one sentence without yelling.
I love the contrast. I love it. Brad came up here, said his piece, was respectful, was able to talk. We did our thing. As soon as, what does that girl call it? The throat goat. I'm going to start calling them the throat goat. As soon as the throat goat came up here, he was yelling to the top of his lungs. That contrast, it's doing it for me. The contrast is what it is. Let me go ahead and put this link back down here. because I'm getting
Zach
started up.
practically took over the whole show.
That's bad when you
Facts.
stuck. You know his weird ass always here.
Oh, we got somebody named Ty-rone Jackson. We fixing to have fun tonight.
Stop playing.
Oh, y'all get them earphones away from y'all
Yeah,
goddamn
let me
ears.
Oh,
pull this
God.
shit off real quick.
Tyrone, are you ashy? Tyrone, do you have anything to say?
Bro,
Since
that
you're
was
up,
the gayest laugh I have ever heard.
Tyrone, why did you click my link? Sir, do you have anything to add to the conversation? You know, there was a Brad up here, right? And he gave an example of how to have a conversation. So if you want to refer back, right, and look at the stream, just because I got the DVR mode on, you can go back, listen to Brad, listen to how he was talking, how he waited his turn, how he apologized when he felt like he was talking over other people. You know, the respect that I was trying to define for y'all. Tyrone Jackson.
Tyrone, you don't get to type in the back chat, bitch. Either talk on here or get the fuck on. We ain't got time.
Period.
Mm.
All
Pussy
right.
boy.
There's
Welcome.
this thing, you have to think about what you want to say and then say it. That might help.
Girl.
No.
No. Get your
Tyrone, was that him again?
Yeah,
Tyrone,
that was
Yeah,
him.
that was
listen to
him.
what I'm saying to you, Tyrone. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that there's nothing else productive that you can find to do. We literally have graduated past any conversation that you're going to be able to get fulfillment out of. All I want to know is, why did you click the link? Was that you with the $2?
Yeah.
All right, Tyrone, if you don't respond, I'm going to put your ashy ass off of my live.
Shut the fuck.
Okay, bitch.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah.
That's it. That was it.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my, that's so
Don't
gay,
just
bro.
shut
Like,
the fuck
shut
up.
the fuck up.
Didn't he sound like a debutante?
He sound like
Girl.
Bobo the Clown with that
Pussy.
fucking laugh. Like, what the fuck was that?
Pussy ass. I swear they gay as fuck, bro.
Girl, he was playing with that long ass clit they call a dick between their legs. Black men don't
Girl.
have no dick. That's a long fucking clit down there.
Ugh. Ugh.
Welcome back, Ebony Phoenix. How are you, ma'am? Blaine, what type of condition are you in tonight? Are you sober? Blaine, you're on the panel. All right, I'm going to bring Blaine back down.
What is wrong with everybody today?
I don't know.
Yeah, they not responding. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
It's so weird. It's so weird. Y'all don't buy if you live in a state where weed is legal, don't buy it from the dude on the corner no
Please
more.
don't.
Because he putting decon and shit in y'all shit. All right. Bed wenches suck. May I help you?
Oh shit.
I didn't really come here to contribute. You know, I just came here to say something.
Well, check it
You
out.
know.
Check it out.
That's contributing, you
He
idiot.
be here every week.
Well,
He be here every damn week.
He said I
shut your
didn't
mouth
come
when I'm
here.
talking.
He said I
Shut your
didn't
mouth
come
when I'm
here
talking.
to. He said I didn't come here to contribute, but I have something
Shut
to
your
say.
goddamn mouth when a man is
That's
talking.
literally
Boy,
going
Shut
to
the fuck up.
contributing.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
All right, y'all. Come on. Let's give him his little time.
Okay, bed wenches suck. Let me ask you this. Did you see the part of the video where Brad was talking?
I mean, the guy
Hold
that
up,
called
y'all. Hold on. Let me get this question answered. Did you see that part of this stream?
I mean, the guy that called, I couldn't listen to it, man. The guy's so pussy whipped. I just could not even listen to it, bro. He sounds like somebody who has never had pussy in his life.
He's
Okay,
married.
hold on. I got this, y'all. Sir, listen. All I asked was, did you hear the part? I was asking about the style and courteousness of the conversation. I wasn't asking you whether you agree with what he said or not. I asked you, did you see how he handled himself? Do you think you can handle yourself like that tonight? If you can't,
What?
I'm just gonna throw your ass back out. So can you
I
handle
can't.
this?
I can. I mean, you got a potty mouth. What's wrong with me having a potty mouth?
I'm not yelling though. You see what I'm saying? You can't negotiate with me. You can't. Did I yell at you?
Not really, you know, because sometimes you black women, we got to scream for you to hear it. So, you know,
No,
it is what it
we
is.
actually hear what you're saying. We just don't give a fuck about what you're talking about. That you're getting it mixed up.
See,
That
here's
was
what you got to understand, right? Just
no.
one
Wait,
last thing.
wait. I wasn't done. Now, talk at an inside level. I don't know if you know what that is. Use your inside voice, right? Say what you got to say. And then when it's my turn, I'm going to talk. What do you want?
All right. So the thing is, you black women typically go for the white men that nobody wants. All right. So I'm not even sure what we're celebrating here. It doesn't even make sense. The
Who
guy
was
that called
celebrating?
in,
Hey, who was celebrating? We were having a conversation. Why did you use the word celebrate?
you're so desperate for any attention that you can get.
You think
A
that I
lot of you
need,
women that are up
wait,
here, you're
wait.
desperate. Nobody wants.
Nigga, be quiet.
Why would somebody that has their own husband of 26 years need attention from other men? I think
I
it's
was going to say,
reversed.
isn't DZ married?
You came up here for attention, Bedwinches suck.
How many women on the panel are married?
Why do you ask that every time you come here?
Because
They
it's
don't.
important.
No, it's
It's
not. They
important.
You're not
prefer
about to
not
do
to.
no damn survey.
Every week.
It is very important. A lot of you women are losers. Can't get the kind of man that you want, and so you come out here and you rag on black men. That's what you do.
Well, you would like to think that that was true. They don't care to share their personal life with you, right? They don't have to tell you whether they're married or not. This is my platform, and I'm telling you I'm married. So now what?
All right. So the thing is, you're sitting here talking about bottom shelf brats. The reason why they go for black women is because they have no choice. They're losers.
Well,
You
Bottom
know what I
Shelf
mean?
Brad came up here and he spoke for himself. Why are you speaking for him? I already heard what he said.
I'm not speaking for him. I don't know him. I'm just saying in general,
You're
based on my
speaking for him, but
anecdotal experience.
he just said that he likes black women, right? And you're coming up here directly contradicting him. Why?
He can like whatever he wants to like.
You
Bottom
damn
line is,
right.
a lot of you women on the panel are a bunch of losers. You're up here because you
Did you
can't
want
get
me
the
to
kind
hook
of
you?
black men that you
Did
want.
you want me to hook you up with one of the losers? I bet you have fucked the shit out of one of
I don't.
these women.
I mean,
Yeah, you
I'm
would.
probably
I
not.
guarantee you would have an erection that's pointed right at your fucking chin, nigga, because that's what you want. You coming over here talking about people desperate and shit. Get the fuck out of here. Stop trying to rag on my people up here. These are my girls. Point blank, period.
That is a reality, though. That
I
is a
know what I
reality.
just said is the reality. You want to fuck one of them and you
Yeah.
mad because they're not on the market.
That is a
Right?
reality. A lot of you black women out here ragging on black men because nobody wants y'all. That's the thing. That's the
Are you
reality.
married?
I mean, my
Are
marital
you
status.
married?
You know, he
Let me
ain't
ask
How
you.
many
You asked
baby
the
mamas
question.
do you got?
Are you
He
gonna let
ain't
me
married
answer?
and he got 5 baby mamas.
I don't have any kids. To be honest with you, I don't have
Thank
any
God.
kids.
Praise
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean?
Jesus.
Because I'm not so responsible.
Let's
Yes.
get a
All right,
hand
all
I'm
right.
very
clap.
responsible. You know.
Are you married, nigga?
Why would I want to get married?
Okay.
Oh my
Never
God.
Marriage.
mind.
You only gotta get married if you want to have kids.
Okay, everything that you have to say at this point is irrelevant.
Let me
You're not
finish
even
talking.
fucking married and you're
No,
asking
you
us
don't
if
get.
we're
Let me
married.
finish talking.
You're
All you
asking
gotta
us
do.
if we're married, and you're not even fucking married. You
See, a
can't
man
even
can get
speak
married
for
when
it.
he's 45 or 50. I can have kids whenever I want.
You
You have a
cannot.
biological clock. You have a
You're.
So
biological
what?
clock, so
So
we're
do
not the same.
you. Your
So
dick
what?
doesn't
So do
work
you,
after a
We're
nigga?
not
certain
So
the
do
age.
same.
you?
What
I
are you
don't even know why
talking
you're asking these
about?
questions. We're not the same.
Your
I
A
got
man
dick
and a
another
woman are
does
not the
question.
same.
not
Nigga,
You had
you
a
work
act
clock.
like
after
after
a
a
certain
certain age,
age.
your sperm don't swim. They sink, motherfucker.
I got
I
a
can get married
question.
when I'm 95.
I got a question, Bed, when you suck dead ass. Why on earth do you come up here so much? Why?
I
He's
gotta,
bored and
I hear
lonely.
a lot of dumb stuff, and I feel like I'm
He's
the
Why
only
do
one who
you
desperate.
can
In
really
his own
listen?
words, he's
collect all the
desperate.
dumb stuff. You know what
Hold
I
on
He's
mean?
just
desperate and
I
bored
hear
and
a
In
lot
his
of
own words, he's desperate
I hear a lot of dumb
divested black
shit.
women.
He's a eunuch.
let them finish, and then I'm gonna ask him a couple more questions.
So you listen to shit that you don't like hearing? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm bored. I have about 40 more minutes on the clock, and I'm out of here.
So
I'm
you
actually at
don't
work.
read, you don't read, you don't
Who's
watch
talking
things that
right
you
now?
enjoy?
Let me go ahead and finish him with an hour. Thank you. Sir, every motherfucking time I go live and there's a link shared, you come. This doesn't make any sense, and I'm gonna tell you why. There is a sector of YouTube where black women are trashed every goddamn day. I'm not over there because I don't give a fuck about what they're talking about. They're not my demographic. I don't want to have sex with a black man. I'm not interested in black men. I just don't care what they think. Why do you tune into all my shit? Why?
I have a responsibility to correct what you're saying. At least I feel like I have a responsibility. You're
Who
not giving a
gave
good
you?
representation of black men.
Who gave you that responsibility?
It's a free world. I can do whatever I want. What are you talking about?
This is my platform, and I can kick off whoever I want to. You see
Well,
how that works? You can
you
go
can
make
do
a
whatever you
video.
want.
You can go make a video about me and talk a lot of shit. See, and if I come over to your platform, you get to block me, toss me out. I have to be respectful and all that shit. But
See,
you
right
try
now
to
I'm bored at work, right? I'm bored, so I gotta do something to pass
where do you
time.
work? I wish I knew your fucking boss's name.
Amazon
because
warehouse. Amazon warehouse. That's where he
Why would
work
I
at.
reveal it? Why would I
McDonald's. He
reveal my
work at
work location?
McDonald's. He's a fry cook at McDonald's.
I mean, you just said on your panel that black men don't work.
I don't
So
think
right
you
now,
got no job. I don't think you have a job.
So basically, let's just say
You're
for the
too
sake of argument,
available. You're
let's
too
just say for-
available. I don't think you have a job because you're too available to come fuck with the sisters that ain't checking for you. Ain't
So-
no way on earth that somebody letting you ride this clock like this. You ain't got no fucking job, nigga.
let's just say for the sake of argument, I work at McDonald's. Just for the sake of argument. Right now, you were earlier. You were saying that black men don't have jobs. So what is wrong with working at McDonald's? Just out of curiosity, what is wrong with it?
So you work at McDonald's.
If I work at McDonald's, what's wrong with it? I'm just saying for the sake of argument, because right now, apparently, people that work at McDonald's are idiots and they don't deserve to live. So I'm just asking, what's wrong with working at McDonald's?
Who said
Everything, dummy.
Who said
really?
that? If you are past the age of 25 and you still work at McDonald's, unless you're the general manager, you have fucked your life up.
See, the thing is, I don't work at McDonald's, but I don't look down on people that work at McDonald's.
Yeah, you do.
I don't work at Burger King. I don't work at Amazon warehouse. I don't look down on people that work at Amazon.
McDonald's, you do
I have a
DoorDash.
question.
You got a terrible attitude. You look down on people.
Stop yelling.
A lot of you women on the panel are just
Stop yelling. Stop
I have a
yelling.
question.
Go ahead, ask your question.
My question is this: what are you hoping to gain from coming to a platform that's not about you?
Well, I'm just trying to. I got a few more minutes at work, so I'm just getting on. Say what I gotta
You
say.
can do other stuff with your time, bruh.
I'm just getting on to do whatever I can do whatever I want with my time.
Yes, you can, and we cannot get married. We cannot like you. We cannot listen to you. Yeah, free world, right?
This place is a gathering of women that are desperate for attention.
Yep.
You know,
Oh,
y'all get
sweetie,
together
that's
and
not
talk
the
about how
case.
black. I mean, this whole channel is about black men. You got to give some of those super chats to black men that you find on the street, because this whole channel is about black men. This whole channel.
You can ask him a question. Go ahead, because I'm not studying nothing he talking about. I'm sitting here trying to see if I still got some ice in my lemonade. Go ahead, baby.
My question is, all right, so we are a channel that only talk about black men. All right. What about the channels that only talk shit about black women 24/7?
I don't follow those channels. I don't know what you're talking about.
Boy, okay.
Sir,
Would you follow a channel that talks shit about black men?
What I see is every time you guys come up, all you do is talk bad about black men.
I mean,
it was a school shooter in Michigan.
So what?
It was a white dude.
So what?
A lot of white folks. I mean, you can cherry pick stuff that if you want to talk about.
I mean, there's a shooting. There's a mass shooting in Chicago every day. I mean,
so what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell you is be positive. Be positive with your life, right?
We're gonna talk
Just
about
always
you
look for the best in people. Don't go around looking for the worst in people. That's my point.
We can't help it. You niggas are disgusting. There's nothing good about you.
So you're in the minority. Nobody, large majority of black women.
Ty-rone, you sound very effeminate coming up here every single week, almost every single day that DZ go live.
I'm bored, man.
You sound very effeminate.
What can I do? I'm bored. What can I do?
You're very effeminate.
Do you fuck boys?
Yeah.
Are you gay?
Nah, I'm not into that kind of stuff.
He's very gay.
I'm not into that kind of stuff. Unfortunately,
positive gay.
Unfortunately, I'm not into that kind of stuff.
Definitely
I'm really
a
not into
bottom.
that kind of stuff.
Boy is a bottom.
No, I don't do that kind of stuff.
I don't need that kind of
He's
stuff.
addicted to boys. He's addicted to boys.
I don't do that kind of stuff. Projection. Keep going for it.
I mean, I am addicted to boys. White men
as you women, someone can start a channel, talk bad about black women. It does not necessarily mean that you also have to start it.
Ladies, this is enough of the proof that you need to get your ass away. You hear the rambling? Get your ass away from these niggas. This is a stalker, right?
So
every week he comes up here with this bullshit. Whenever he hears smoke night, he click that shit faster than he click his goddamn gas tank when he running on E. These are the ones you have to pick from. Okay? He's obsessive. He's lazy. He's a liar. He does not know how to use an inside voice. And they talk about bottom shelf brads. This right here would be considered a high value Ty-rone because he claimed he has a job. He do whatever the fuck he want to do on the job. He says he lives his life how he wants to. This is a high value Ty-rone. You mean to tell me this is better than a bottom shelf brad? I don't think so. I beg to differ. Sorry, not fucking sorry.
DZ, you know what? You know what's so funny about that? Last guy I dated, redneck through and through, right? Was the owner of a cement laying company.
Mhm.
So what happened was he actually got bored one day. So I was texting him. He said he was bored. He was putting up a solar shed in his fucking backyard. And you have these motherfuckers who say they're bored, so they come online to argue with women.
We already
Say
know
it
that they're
again.
pathetic as fuck. They're
And
very pathetic.
that's not effeminate at all.
One good thing he got going on right now is the fact that he did not reproduce. I can't thank the universe enough for seeing to it that he does not have a junior. And I know good and well you wouldn't be there for him even if he did. So thank God for, the women in your circle being smart enough not to give you no kids. That's what's up.
He's probably lying about that too.
It's because he a eunuch.
I don't think he likes women at all.
Yeah, he definitely a bottom.
Well,
I don't.
there's a bunch of gays who have bastard babies all over the place too.
True.
So
I mean, don't you really think if I was gay, don't you think I would be on your side if I was actually gay?
No.
I mean,
They hate
there will be
women.
gay. There will be gay channels that will be on your side if I was actually gay.
Most gay men hate women.
You know?
Yes.
I would actually be on your side.
Most
if I was
gay black men actually
Think about
hate
it.
women.
That's
Black
why
women
black men
especially.
hate women.
Think about it. I
Because
mean,
all y'all are gay.
you're over here criticizing black men just for the sake of being black. All your arguments can be refuted in like 2 seconds.
It's
I don't
because
even have
you
to
guys are
think twice about it.
degenerates and you threaten your
All right.
community and you abandon your children
You know?
and your
So
family.
you're making generalizations. Generalizations.
No, I guarantee you, most of the women on this panel have been abandoned, abused, or had something bad happen to them because of
Nobody,
niggas like you.
no one's going to disagree with that. But I can also throw out a stat that says, a lot of black women have STDs. The
Who they
stats
get them from? You niggas. 'cause
we don't know.
everywhere.
Again, we don't know. All right. So
Most-
just
all right,
because,
let me drop some
just
gems
because,
on
let
your
me
resume.
do this.
No.
Just
You're not
because
gonna
a
do
stat
that.
does not favor a particular group does not mean that they're automatically guilty by association or whatever. You got to look into stuff, right?
Fact or fiction?
There are nuances
Most
in everything.
black women fuck black men.
Anybody
True or
see
false?
about hear about the new sale at Bed Bath and Beyond for
No,
Christmas
hold on.
candles?
Stop.
This is boring as
No.
hell.
No. True or false? Most black women fuck black men.
I mean, that is true.
All right. Why do most black women have STDs?
I mean,
Because
you
they
have a
fuck
few.
black men?
No, let me finish. You asked a question. Let me answer.
All right.
See, you have a few black men that are going around impregnating all these women.
That's a
I
lie.
mean,
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
you go into certain
lie.
neighborhoods. You go into certain neighborhoods.
That's
you
a
got
lie.
the same black man has like multiple
That's
baby
a
mamas.
lie.
Majority of black.
That's a lie, bitch.
Yeah.
You acted. I seen one of them shits. They put up 16% of black men got 50 or something like 80% of black women pregnant. That is a fucking lie.
Yeah, that's a lie.
That is fucking impossible, honestly. Yes, black men have multiple baby mamas, but it's not like what the numbers that y'all using.
Right.
So you women are having sex with a few black guys.
Across state lines?
I've never done that before. I've never had sex with no black dude. Fuck wrong with you?
I'm saying majority of black women. How about that?
In different states, you idiot.
Majority of black women. So
You're
a few
generalizing.
black men.
What happened to that? What happened to the generalizations? You get to do it.
In this case,
Where
let's
your mama
go
at?
with it.
Let me talk to that bitch. Where your mama at?
In a
Because
few-
you boring me right now. This shit is boring and it's corny. Where is your mother? Go get
Understand
her
it.
because you
Understand
being
it.
here is her responsibility. I blame
Majority of
her
black
for
men
even
don't have
having
kids.
met you.
What you say?
I blame her for even having met you. Where the
Majority
fuck
of
is
black
your-
men don't have
Boy,
children.
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I can't.
because he's lying at this point. He's lying at this point. What do you mean the majority of black men don't have children? That's a lie. And I know where you got that from with your lying ass. You've been over there on a manosphere talking points, and that's where you got the shit from, where you just told unapologetic you don't go over there.
Exactly.
Ladies, I'm telling you, don't try it. It's not worth it. They all say the same shit. They sound like a broken fucking record. And he talking about how we talk shit about black men. Guess what? I'm gonna do that same shit on Tuesday because the shit is at an emergent level right now. Black women are getting fucked up left, right, and center. The bodies are dropping. They're dropping. Leah Gordon has done I don't know how many videos this past week. She covers black women that get murdered, right? And he's talking shit about black males. No, y'all, we not doing this. There is no competition in between who did who wrong. The very first action was them failing to protect you. I don't give a fuck what they say after that. They dropped the goddamn ball. Point blank, period. I can't. Who's this back here? QF, are you ashy?
No. I actually really do support you. I'm kind of new. I've been here for about 6 months already. I really wish that the dude was on there because I would have teared him a new asshole because he just talking that bullshit.
I'm tired of the same talking points every goddamn time they open their mouth. The world is changing. They've been talking those same goddamn talking points since people been watching VCRs. Bitch, the goddamn phone talk back to you now. You ain't got nothing else to say. The fuck is wrong with I can't. And women that still fuck with them, I don't get it. Y'all bitches are crazy as hell. Anyway, go ahead, QF.
Yeah, I really don't get it. And you know what? I'm 24, I'm young, and I made one mistake in the past I did not make again. I'm not fucking with these niggas no more because they all the same. They just don't fucking get it. They fucking stupid. They don't know how to build. They don't know how to do anything. So what's the point of even wasting my time and energy?
Listen, did y'all hear what she just said? She said she made the mistake. Let me ask you this before I move on or whatever. Did you hear any of these talking points before you made the mistake and just thought the people that were saying it was bitter? Tell me how that went. How did you end up making that mistake with these ashy ass sons of bitches?
Well, honestly, because my mom didn't teach me anything really. She didn't teach me how to find the right dude. And when you're young and you're naive and you on your own living by yourself, you get yourself caught up with this dude. And honestly, like I really thought that he was totally different from all these other dudes. And then I just got that wake up call and I'm like, you know what? From this point on, either I'm going to be single or I'm just going to expand my options and date all these other men out in the world that
if you
will
want companionship, expand your options. I don't understand why if like a lot of mammies be like, listen, if I can't have a black dude, I don't want nobody. And that's just self-effacing. I don't know why anybody would take themselves through that. I don't know what people think about white guys and what they are like to be with. What are you scared of? I don't know. But if you got questions, let me know. Y'all just got to open up your options. Dead ass serious.
Right. Some of the women, like, they scared to really date out. They think that other groups of men do not find them attractive. They feel like they are just not approachable. And honestly, I live in California. It's a lot of Hispanic people and white folks out here. You know, you just got to find the one that's really right for you. You know,
black men don't find them attractive, and they told them that to their face, but they keep fucking them. You see what I'm saying? It's not making sense on either side. It's like you don't want to fuck around with anybody outside your race because you think they think you ugly. Well, black men told you to your face that you was ugly, and they don't give a fuck about you. But you still haven't given up on them. I just wanted to make sense on both sides. That's it.
Right.
Honey,
that's real.
Don't make the mistake that a lot of black women made. You have an opportunity if you're childless or haven't been out on many dates or got attached to anybody in that way. Don't think that you are exempt. They love women like you that think that you're exempt from bullshit that niggas take you through. You are primed for the taking. You are a juicy ass duck sitting in front of a lion. He's ready and he's going to get you. They are all the same. And if there's a unicorn out there, he's already taken. He probably got 2-3 women because these women, they give them everything. Everything. And there's nothing wrong with being single on top of that. Right?
There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes being by yourself is just the best thing. You have a peace of mind. You're able to get yourself together. And I tell people, you got to love yourself before you can love anybody else. Self-love is the best thing.
That's a fact. Because whenever you by yourself, you around somebody that you like if you love yourself. Yo, that motherfucker gave me a big time headache. He just, I was slightly hoping that he would say something different. They don't change at all. When I say something different, I'm not saying say something good. Tell us some more shit that y'all think is our fault. Because the shit that y'all blaming on us right now, it's corny. It's played. It's played. It doesn't match what's actually happening. Black women doing their thing. Some of them are mammies, but they're the most educated. They're doing their thing. What's stopping you? What's stopping you?
DZ,
What's up?
this motherfucker really came up here and said, I have nothing to contribute, but I do want to say, like, nigga, you know that's contributing, right?
That's why I
Like,
was translating words from them. I told you that y'all they don't know what words mean. I had to translate a couple words. He said he wasn't going to contribute, but he came and contributed. There's the link, folks that's looking for it.
I'm not gonna lie, listening to
DZ,
black men just makes me want to pull out a gun, honestly.
DZ,
L,
he's doing that thing where you said, you know how you said talking to them is like they um had talk like they have a traumatic brain injury. That's what he was sounding like. That's what he was sounding like when he was talking and attempting to make his points that never made any sense and the points never fucking connected. Just a whole bunch of nonsense.
he sound like legit, y'all. Like he's on Social Security. He ain't at nobody's job because he was yelling very, very loud. If you at your job, you wouldn't want nobody to hear
Right.
you talking like that. He was yelling to the top of his lungs. I had to tell him several times, calm down. So if you believe he's at work, you have to believe that he's his own boss because nobody is going to put up with that type of shit. And I know you don't believe that idiot is his own boss. That
I
boy,
said he worked for DoorDash. He
no, he
DoorDashing.
probably selling sacks of weed. I don't even think he
Girl, he
doing
ain't got no
DoorDash.
car to DoorDash in. He don't even
He
own a
probably selling
car.
sacks of weed.
He
He
already
don't own a
admitted.
driver's
He
license.
got a buy here, pay here card. That's how he DoorDashing. It breaks down every time he
Girl,
makes a
no, he don't.
delivery.
He look, he don't even have no car and he don't have no driver's
He
license
ain't got no bank
neither. You
account
giving
either.
him
Yeah,
too
most of
much
these niggas
credit.
don't have no car. They walking and taking the bus.
Girl, he already admitted that he worked at McDonald's. His quote unquote hypothetically. What's wrong with that? Nigga, shut
But
up.
don't you need a high school diploma to at least get like a starter job at McDonald's?
No, because they hire, they hire immigrants all the time. But then again, they work. So,
he
yeah.
legit gave me a headache. I'm looking for my box of goody powders around this bitch. His ass was just, yeah, y'all women, y'all black women. Hey, and don't nobody want y'all. And hey, guess what? Guess what? I'm at work. What's wrong with McDonald's? What's wrong with me? I think I'm a dusty bitch too. What am I even saying? I mean, what are you doing?
Yo, and then he was like, hey, be quiet when a man is talking. Bitch, you ain't no man. The
Right.
fuck?
Right. That's
Like, are you
crazy.
not embarrassed to get up here and talk to women? Like, I'm convinced this motherfucker got notifications on and he be ready to get up here. All he do is scream.
He does.
He
He
low
beat y'all
functioning
here.
autism. You know how Zach was high functioning? That nigga was low functioning.
I'm going to tell you how much DZ got stalkers. When your computer went off, and people were waiting around for you to come back on. Like, I legit fell asleep waiting for you to come back on. As soon as your computer came back on, you still had Dusties on there ready to fucking troll before the fucking subscribers. I'm just like, how?
They're here first. I can't tell you how many times I've created a stream and had to delete troll messages because they do have their notifications on. Because, ladies, honestly, all jokes aside, y'all doing your thing, and they don't want you to go. I have to admit, if I was a black man, and thank God I'm not, I would be worried, because they've had it so comfortable. They had it to where women were singing songs about sharing them generationally. Who wants to give up that type of clout? Right? Talking about the boy is mine, woman to woman, motherfuckers fighting each other over these men. I mean, damn. And they're being taken care of. You give them the couch, you give them your taxes, you buying them shit. I'm gonna do his resume for him. Let me get him a tie. He got an interview down here. Listen, they are scared as fuck, and I love it. I love it to pieces. Y'all, I can't. Any motherfucking way. Anybody got anything else before I go to the Discord and shake my ass and show you what I got? Well, let me go ahead and put this down here. Y'all quiet as fuck. When that motherfucking Dusty was up here, y'all was going off. Now I can hear a mouse poot up here.
Cause they are stressful. Like they're fucking stupid. I swear to God. When the black man starts speaking, you can you just lose brain cells dealing with. You get look even
I almost
polite
fell
as
asleep
Zach.
listening to that motherfucker.
Even polite as Zach had to breathe for some of the shit he was saying. Cause when he thought about it, that shit was too much.
He was trying not to be disrespectful because whenever you talk about the black community, you have to take
Right.
you have to take a break to make sure that you're not fucking
Right.
up. Because anything you say against them could or tell their truth, community guidelines is being broken. Okay, telling black people's truth, that's a community guideline strike right there. So when Zach was like, I'm like, I feel you. I feel you trying to get them fucking words together, y'all. Y'all doing what you got to do. I legit have to take a goody powder. I am
You
not
need to
lying
stop
right
taking
now.
them damn things.
Girl, they good. They
What's a
work.
goody? What's a goody powder?
It's a
some
headache
shit.
powder.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looked like Coke, but it's for your headache.
She said it looked like Coke.
You don't
I'm
snort it though.
It does look like hope.
It don't. You don't snort it though. It worked pretty fast.
Oh my God, that's too funny. And you know what's so, the one thing that I love about this channel is that there is no fucking coddling. There's no in between. There's no fence sitting. There's none of that shit. It's straight up, fuck these niggas. Now
I don't
what?
know.
And
We done
here's
seen it
proof.
a few times.
You
I'm
said
so
you saw
sick
what a
of
few
the
times?
coddling.
Not necessarily all of us, but I be seeing some people where some women start saying some off the wall shit, and they just be like, "Well, like, nah, ain't no well." No.
Yeah, I'm not gonna coddle anybody that's doing anything outside of falling in line with what's best for black women. If you have something to say that's, you know, gonna set black women back and take them back to the position where they would essentially be a light mammy, I'm gonna have to go ahead and get on you a little bit because we getting fucked up out here. Thank you, MEC. I appreciate you for the super chat. These are not love taps. These are murders that are happening with black women. So I'm not gonna sit there and let you just say, well, no, ain't no well. I'm talking
It
about
shouldn't
girls.
even be no well.
Thank you.
Because if it was us getting hurt and killed, you really don't see black men out there really protesting. It's the
They
other
too
way
scared to
around if something
hell.
happened to them.
They're actually happy when it happens. I've seen them celebrate our deaths before. Hell, I've seen people that are so-called talking against black men now. They used to celebrate our deaths before, shit went down. But when black women get their shit split, it makes a lot of them happy as fuck. Because you said you don't really see them marching like that, but I see them celebrating. Y'all have to go over there at Manosphere so you can know I'm not exaggerating. They celebrate when you get fucked up.
You want to know what's crazy too? That man talking about nobody wants us, right? But when we find somebody that's not them, that just make them stalk us even more. They be trying to fuck up everything.
Girl, let me tell
Whatever
you
these little
something.
monkeys.
Like
Man.
I am not in a position today, right? Because I just got too much going on. I just started back school. I'm moving. I got a lot going on. So I be in the store in my give up on life pants, and I still get hit on. I still have white men asking me for my number, and I be busted as all hell. So I'd be like, yeah, I can't take anything that they say seriously. It's just like, bruh, stop.
I can't, y'all. She said, Miss Simmons said, whole Zaddy call night show would be awesome. If y'all want to do that, that does sound actually good.
That does.
It
I
sounds
would
real
I would
good.
I would genuinely,
That
but
show
but
gonna
but,
call
but
you
one
racist then.
that's not gonna sugarcoat shit. I mean, I like Zach, but I wanted to hear him go in a little more.
He was trying to be
He did
careful.
loosen up towards the end.
He did a little
Because he
bit.
was starting to talk like us.
You can tell he really wanted to say some shit, but he was trying to be polite, and I was like, nah, Zach, go in.
He did.
It's almost to the point where you can't even talk about black men because there's nothing good about them. If I was put on the spot and asked to name 3 good things about them, I would be stuck. I would be stuck, y'all. Let's go to Discord. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all when we do our Zaddy call-in show. Shit. Love y'all to pieces. I'm out of here. See y'all next time.